This project is about tables, which is a great topic. The first thing I'd like you to do is to go to the tables page right here and join with me on this project. Once you're on the tables page, I want you to select a cell and we will go to the Insert tab. And right there is tables. So I'm going to select it. And Excel guesses, since that's where I had it selected originally, that's where I want my table. That's not where I'm going to want it. I'm going to select below it and down. So now I have B8 to D12. And my table does not have a heading row. So I'll click OK. And there it is. If I wanted to change the style of this, instead of blue and white, I can come over here to the Design tab and click the down arrow. You can see I have all kinds of choices. So I will pick another color. And if I wanted to increase this table, I could select right here and just put some data in, hit enter, and it will automatically add a column. If I wanted to have another row in it, just put some data in and another row appears. Another way to enlarge it is to see this little button at the bottom of it and to select it and drag. And you can make the table bigger that way also. If you don't like your table, you can select it and delete it. This time I want to show an example of selecting a table that's a range that's already present. Going to the Insert tab, selecting Table. This time my table has headers. It checked it because it presumed correctly. But as you can see, it didn't get all the way down. So we're going to have to change that from G16 to G17. I'll change that right there. Make that a 7. And you can see how that included in there. And now it's table. And it already has some background color, so we're going to get rid of the background color. No fill. And once we get rid of it, we can see the colors that are normally present with a table. And of course I can change these at any time. The next topic is to give your table a name. Excel gives it a generic name, and if you select inside the table and come up to Design, which is the contextual menu for tables, click on it, and you can see right here that the table 6 is the name that Excel gave it. But of course you can change that. We'll just change it to SW for Southwest, and might be easier to remember that when we use it in formulas. You can't use any spaces in the new name. If you want to have a separation of words, you can use an underscore. Okay, and moving on. Now here's an interesting feature. If I were to select this table, or select anywhere in the table, and scroll up, the words area, temp, and all the headings will replace the AH, AI, AJ, and so on. So I'll show you how that works. And now the word area and temp is there. And everything will scroll down, and so on. If I don't want it to change, all I have to do is select outside of the table. And there it is. In this part, I'd like to talk about formulas. Formulas are very easy to build. For example, if you put your cursor right here, and we'll start off with an equal sign, and then you push down the opening bracket, the opening square bracket. So you have the curly bracket and the square bracket just to the right of the letter P on your keyboard. And you don't have to hit the shift key, just click the square bracket. And then you have the list of all of the column titles. I'm going to select A and close the bracket. And then click the plus sign, an open bracket, and this time I'm going to select B. And B went right in there, and close the bracket. So see if you can type in equals opening bracket A, close bracket, plus opening bracket B, close bracket. And when you're finished, click enter. And you can see how it populated all the way down. This is nice because you don't have to guess a large area to sum. It will automatically go to the length of the table. And you can select any one of these and you can see they are all the same. Now the name of this table is called My Index. If you wanted to make a formula outside of the table, which this formula is right here, I can show you how that one works. You have My Index, which is the name of this table, and then you have the cell triad, which is this set of numbers right here, and then you have My Index B, which is this set of numbers here. And so simply by saying this table with this column, summing with this table and the other column, triad and B, and you have the sum function, it's an easy way to sum the exact amount of numbers in those areas. So let me show you how that works. Another way of doing that is I can take this area here, hold down the control key, select this area here, and you can see these numbers are right there. That's 7012, 7012. Another feature involving formulas is where you click on any cell in here to select it, go to the Design tab and select it. You can have a totals row. So we're going to select that. And you can see it went right down here. If I were to select, say, this cell, I've got a down arrow next to it, and I can get the average, the count, the sum, the max, the minimum, and so on. So I can put that number in there. The nice thing about the sum formula is that if I were to filter this and say I only want people from, let's say, the United Kingdom, I'll filter it right over here. I only want the United Kingdom. That number is 28. It doesn't count all the other numbers because it has a special sum total formula in it. Now I will undo that, bring it back. So however you filter it, this sum will reflect the number that you filtered it to. If I thought I was finished with my spreadsheet but I need to add another row, all I have to do is go to this column right here and click Tab, and I've got another row, and I can type in Emma Jones and so on and so forth, and fill all the way across. If you scroll to the right, you can work with me on this project. I want to select this area and convert it to a table. So go ahead and select this area right here. And we'll go to the Insert tab and select Tables. And it says my table has headers, and that looks good. So we will click OK. Now, while we can select away from it and the special menu goes away, we want to select it and get the design menu, and we want to change the name. So let's change the name to green, or just GR. This is the green table. GR. Okay, now we want to create a formula to sum January through March, and we want to put it right here. So we will put equals sum, opening parentheses, and we will select these three. And you can see the formula that went in there had the @ symbol on it. A lot of times when you make them automatically, the @ symbol is not there, but a lot of times I think for historical reasons, the @ symbol is there. So now we'll close the parentheses, and we have GR, which is the new name of the table, and at January through March, because we go by headings as opposed to cell addresses. We'll click enter, and you can see it populated all the way down. So 2 + 4 + 2 = 8, and you can see that. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to delete these, and we'll practice it again. Click here, equals sum, opening parentheses, drag over here, and that is January through March, close the parentheses, and hit enter, and it populates all the way down. As you select it, you can look up here and you can see the menu, the formula in detail. Equals sum, GR, January through March. Now I think if we get rid of the GR, it will still work. And you can see that it still works. And the reason is because you are in the table. So you don't always have to put the GR there, but it tends to put it in automatically. Now let's just say we want to add a totals row. So we'll click on this, add a totals row, and select to the right. We want the sum. Select here, we want the sum. And right here, we want the sum. And we have the total here. And here's how we add the sum formula outside of the table. We'll click on the cell right here, equals sum, opening parentheses, and I'm going to put the square, opening a square bracket, and I want January in there. So be Jan. Close the square bracket and close the parentheses. And I didn't put in GR, so we have the table there. So here's the formula, equals sum GR, which is the name of the table, and January. We'll click enter. And it is 6, just like it is down here. Let's do one for February. Equals sum, opening parentheses, GR, because that's the name of our table, square bracket, and I'm going to select February right there, and closing bracket, and closing parentheses. So it's equal sum, GR for the name of the table, and February in square brackets, and then you close the parentheses. And enter. And you can see it's 12 also. I'm going to try one over here. Equals sum, opening parentheses, GR, the name of the table, square bracket. This time I want March. Sometimes you have to click it more than once for it to pop in. Closing square bracket and closing parentheses. So there's your formula. And then next press enter. And you have it. So now if you were to scroll down, be in the table and scroll down, you can see January, February, March, and you can find your totals right there. But if you want your totals at the top of the page before you scroll into that, you can have your totals up here too, which every now and then it's nice to have totals at the top of the page. If it's a long spreadsheet and you don't want to scroll down to see it, you can see it right there. but this does not interfere with the fact that you can actually scroll it up and January, February, March comes right here and you can scroll that way. So it's a reason to have totals in two different places. And the nice thing with these formulas is that they will grow with the table.